Okay, for the second example in your textbooks on page 101, we are still doing the factorization by finding the highest common factor. You can look at this 2a, then bracket b minus 1 plus 3 bracket open b minus 1. Now remember, people, what I said. Your pattern will be the highest common factor, then open bracket, remainder term 1, okay, then plus or minus, remainder term 2. That is your pattern of your answer. Okay, now if you look at this 2 and 3 people, okay, now before we go on, this is one term and this is the second term. Okay, first term, second term. Why, people? Because it is separated by plus and minuses. Okay, so here in between is a multiplication, and remember the bracket makes this one factor. Okay, there's a multiplication, the bracket makes this one factor. Therefore, we have two factors. Okay, therefore, when you factorize that now, then in your bracket there will be only two terms. Okay, but the bracket makes this whole thing one term. Okay, and because the highest common factor is multiplied by the bracket, this whole red place. Remember, factorization, the idea is to go from any number of terms, really, people, to one term. That is what the aim is for factorization. Okay. So now if you look at highest, if you want to find the highest common factor, okay, first start the numbers, people. 2 and 3, they don't have a common factor. Because for 2, if you place that into your calculator, you will find that this is it. So 2 and 3 don't have the same base, which means there is no highest common factor. Okay, then we've got an A here, but we haven't got an A there. So that's also not common, so you can't take that out. But now importantly, look here, we've got a bracket which is b minus 1, and we've got a bracket which is b minus 1, which is common and it is a factor. So now you take out the whole bracket, b minus 1. That is your highest common factor. Okay, so a bracket can also be a highest common factor. Don't forget that. Right, and then how do we go on? You now open the bracket, okay, and you must find the remainder 1. So how do you do that? You take term 1 and you divide that by the highest common factor. Okay, so 2, there is nothing, no number here, so that remains, meaning 2. A, there is no A here to divide, so meaning that remains. Okay. But now the bracket b minus 1 divided by b minus 1 gives me 1, people. So this is really cancelled, isn't it? So that is the remainder for term 1. Then you go to the second term. Remember, now you must divide the second term by the highest common factor. Okay, so 3 divided by no number gives me a remainder of 3. Okay, and remember, people, there's a positive. It's not divided, so this remains a positive. And then again, you got the whole bracket b minus 1 divided by b minus 1, which gives me 1. Okay, as I taught you previously, it's really times 1, so I don't need that. I can just erase that. Okay, and then that is the remainder for term 2. That is my final answer. Now I can do the check again, people, to ensure that I'm correct. So I now multiply the highest common factor outside with the first term, and then I multiply the highest common factor with the second term. So this is again, as I told you, removing brackets, or it is just the multiplying out the brackets. Now, okay, so if I have b minus 1 times 2a, people, then my answer is 2ab minus 1. Okay, usually we write the bracket last. And then we have 3 times b minus 1, so that's a positive, and then the 3 times b minus 1. Okay, so that is my answer, or my checked answer. And remember, that now must be the same than the original one that you have started off with. And if you compare these two, you can see that they are the same. So then you know that this answer is correct. Okay, I hope you understand. Please let me know if I need to explain more.